Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Natalie. My channel is all about luxury, vintage, fashion, and styling. So if you're interested in any of those, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. Today I'm going to be sharing all of my favorite handbags for spring 2025. I'm not really talking about all the super popular ones, like a couple will be kind of popular and talked about, but I really kind of wanted to show bags that I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about as much and that I think are really interesting. And a lot of these are at kind of different price points. So obviously we're gonna talk about some luxury bags, but then there's also some that are in a little bit of a lower, still luxury-ish price range, but kind of on the lower side. I just kind of want to make it interesting, and I do find myself being drawn to bags that aren't quite as everywhere. Now first, this is going to be a more popular one, but I think that this style is worth mentioning. So I personally have and love the Loewe puzzle bag. Well, now they've come out with the Featherlight version, which is like a smushy, super soft version of the puzzle bag. I think that's amazing because for a while I felt like they started going very structured with the puzzle bag, especially when they started doing the one that was like the puzzle edge where it had no gaps in between. I felt like that made the bag a lot more structured, which wasn't for me. So now that they're coming out with those super smushy ones, I think that that is how the puzzle looks best. Like just slouchy, casual. I love it. So I'm definitely interested in that bag. And I just think it's a really good one to check out. And if you haven't already had a puzzle bag and you're still considering, I still think it's an amazing bag. And I think that that one will probably be even lighter as well, which is nice just for an everyday bag. Speaking of Loewe, I did want to briefly touch on this bag they showed on the runway. It hasn't been released yet, but I did hear some gossip about it, which I thought was kind of interesting and figured I would love to hear your guys' opinion too. I heard they're going to try to make it like a waitlist style bag where you have to go in and get on a wait list, and they're trying to make it a little bit more exclusive. They're trying to build that brand kind of exclusivity factor, like an Hermes Birkin kind of situation. I think that's kind of strange. I don't know. I don't think that's probably the best strategy for Loewe. I don't know. I don't think that's going to go well for them, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Would that make you want the bag more or less? Maybe it makes the bag a little bit more not everywhere, but to be honest, that bag, when I saw it on the runway, I felt like it was a little bit like the Andiamo from Bottega. I don't know. It didn't feel like that amazing original. It's nice, but I didn't feel super excited by that bag. I don't know. Kind of like the squeeze bag too. It just, I don't know. It wasn't all the way there for me. I feel like the puzzle is still for Loewe, the piece to go with. Okay, moving on. Now, this is probably my favorite bag on the list. This is the one I really want to add to my collection. I've just been kind of going back and forth between colors and sizes, so let's talk about it. This is the JW Anderson Loafer bag. I am obsessed with this bag. I will definitely add it to my collection, but now what I'm debating is we have seen on the runways that it's come out in a bunch of different gorgeous, richer colors. There's greens and blues, all sorts of things. Now, right now, all that's available online is in the smaller version. There's white, tan, black, and then a dark chocolate suede, which is nice. And then in the larger size, they just have black or dark chocolate suede. And looking at my bag collection, I feel like even though the shape is super different and unique, which I love, I feel like I kind of need to add maybe something a little bit different to my collection. I already have a big chocolate suede. I already have big black bags. And I'm trying to decide between the two sizes. I almost feel like I want one a little bit in between, not as small as the smaller one, not as big as the bigger one. They kind of came out with a size in between. So I've kind of been torn. I've kind of been waiting to see if there's gonna be another drop for spring, different colors, sizes, whatever. But I think that bag is so cool, so different. I just love a fresh take on a handbag. And I feel like even though it is I think a popular style as far as JW Anderson is really trying to promote it, I don't feel like I've seen it everywhere. It's not all over. And now maybe during the fashion weeks and month that's coming up, we'll start seeing it a little bit more on influencers. But I feel I still think it's a really interesting bag. I don't think it'll be overblown everywhere, which personally I prefer a bag to be a little bit more under the radar. So that is the bag that I personally want to add to my collection the most on this list. Now, another bag is this Coach bag. Now, we saw it on the runway, and we also saw it on a sneak peek of, and just like that, Sarah Jessica Parker was carrying it. It is that huge Coach oversized kisslock frame bag. I I really like this bag and I would consider it as well, especially because Coach does have like a lower price point. But I don't know if those colors are like gonna get it over the line for me. Like, I don't know. I'd have to like see it in person. I have to see the hardware too, because sometimes if it's like an aged hardware, sometimes that comes off looking like brass, like kind of like cheapy. I don't know. So I feel like I'd have to see this one in person, but I do think it is a like cool style and cool idea, and I love the kind of vintage essence of a kisslock frame bag. While we're on the topic of clutches, I've seen this Ferragamo clutch, and I think that this is going to be such a beautiful style. Love that it looks like almost like a little dumpling. I love it's like pinched up on the top. I don't know. Just the style of that bag I think is really cute. Ferragamo's definitely been kind of like becoming more and more relevant and popular again. So I do think this bag's gonna become like an it bag. Another bag I think will be really big for spring is the Bottega Ciao bag. Now this is gonna be Matthew Blazy's last bag before he heads to Chanel. So I think that also kind of like gives a little bit of like a draw to the bag, but also I think it's like a really cool style. It's almost like how Birkin's like kind of casual, but it has like that slouch, but it's also like functional. I feel like you can like, you know, wear it over your shoulder, like just like the Andiamo. I mean, it's a similar-ish bag to the Andiamo, but it's just like more smushy, a little bit more. It has that like front flap on it. I just think it's really cool, like cool, casual, like just looks like delicious. Like Bottega bags are, like they're always so soft and supple. Their leather is so beautiful. I've been loving Bottega recently, honestly. I just got those shoes from Bottega recently that I love. I got this bag recently from Bottega that I love as well. I really love what they're doing, so I hope the momentum continues. I'm excited to see Louise Trotter kind of come in and see what her take is. I loved her at Carven, so I'm interested to see the direction that Bottega kind of goes with her. I kind of think it'll be kind of in the same realm as it's already been, but yeah, we'll see what they do. But I do think that bag is a really cool one. If you're considering even looking for like a kind of like big oversized bag, I do think that one's gonna be a good one. Now we know I love vintage Chanel. New Chanel doesn't really do it for me, but I do feel like we need to talk about the new Chanel bag. It's worth a mention here. I mean, it's something that I feel like a lot of people are gonna be talking about as well, but I figured it was worth like putting up and chatting about. It is this kind of like slouchy hobo style. It's the 25 bag. I've been seeing it, especially the suede version. I do kind of like that like olivey suede one, but it's interesting and I'm curious to see how it's gonna do. I heard it's like doing really well and like selling out a lot. But I think what's interesting, I don't know, the last couple years, I feel like Chanel's kind of alienated their handbag audience. Maybe not. I mean, you know, the top of the top still shops at Chanel. They weren't worried about all of the price increases, but I just feel like, I don't know, they haven't done anything like too exciting over the last couple years. The bags have just been kind of like, I don't know, whatever. And this bag's like, okay, I can see it doing well just because it is on that like more casual side. Has like the pockets on the side. It could do pretty well, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't buy the bag. Obviously, I mean, I don't even know what the price is. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm sure it's something kind of outrageous. It's probably like the 6,000s, I would think. I don't know. I think Chanel, when they do the like trendier bags, it's kind of like how the Gabrielle and like the 22, like they're popular and like a little bit of an it bag for a while, and then very quickly they kind of go out of trend. So as far as like investing in a new Chanel bag like that, you know, I don't think it's necessarily worth doing personally, but I would love to know what you guys think as well. Another bag I'm kind of excited to see and just want to like see a little bit more is the new Fendi Mama bag that has like that drawstring and it's like super smushy. It looks just beautiful. I think that bag is a really cool one to keep your eye out for, or if you were looking for like something a little bit bigger than the Baguette style or something a little bit different, a little more like casual. I think that is a great bag. I saw that taupe collar that a few people have been wearing. It's really beautiful. They come in a lot of like colors and a few embellished versions as well. I still, you know, personally, I love a vintage Baguette. Those will always have my heart, but I do think these are a really cool bag and something that has like perked my interest for this year. So as far as the major trends for 2025, as far as handbags are concerned, definitely keep your eyes out for fringe bags. We're still seeing a ton of suede bags. Big hobo style bags are still super trending. A lot of like top handle styles, especially like if they're slouchy and have a top handle. I feel like that kind of vibe is very on trend for the year. We're still seeing a ton of these east-west bags. I think clutch bags are gonna be huge this year as well, returning to kind of like that more bigger clutch style. I think we're gonna start seeing people wearing a little bit more color this year as well. I mean, neutrals are always the most dominating color for handbags, but I do feel like people are gonna start playing a little bit more with color this year, which is kind of exciting. So keep your eyes out for like a fun little pop of color if you were considering one. And of course, when in doubt, always shop vintage. Like, I just feel like I'm always constantly inspired by vintage handbags. They're kind of timeless in my opinion. I just feel like they don't date. Like, they're always just kind of like fun and fabulous and always a conversation starter. So if you feel like you're not wanting to spend a ton of money on a handbag, or you're looking for a specific type or trend without spending a ton, always kind of look vintage. I just think that even like an unnamed vintage style or pre-loved is just such a great way. It's more sustainable, and you can kind of find some gems. I mean, obviously I love vintage, so I am biased, but it's just a great way to shop, and you can find some like really cool bag styles. So I would love to know what bags are on your wish list for 2025. Let me know down in the comments. I'm super curious. Which of these bags perked your interest, if any? I would love to know. And until next time, take care. Bye.